Y'all keep eating? Alright, so we're going to continue this week. Finishing up what we talked about last week was really what I want to call, and there's a book by this title, and the name of the book is called What Would Jesus Eat? How many of y'all ever heard of the book, What Would Jesus Eat? I've got the book at home, and it's called What Would Jesus, and the whole book is about the diet that Jesus would have eaten, okay? And so that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is getting back to a diet that God would have meant for us to eat, and a lifestyle that God would have meant for us to have, versus the way we eat and the way we live today. So somebody named something that we talked about last week that we should not eat.
White enriched flour.
White enriched flour.
Hamburgers. Greasy food.
Yeah, some of that's true. That's right. Specifically, like you said, no refined sugar, no refined flour. That's all been introduced fairly recently in the Western diet. And it causes what? What does it cause?
Inflammation.
Inflammation. Sugar, flour causes inflammation, all right, in the cells, which causes tumors. That's where we get cancer. We get cancer from inflammation. Essentially, that's what causes cancer, is inflammation. But what causes inflammation is the sugar, the flour. It causes cell growth, which forms cancerous tumors. So let's take it right down to where the rubber meets the road. If we don't eat sugar or corn syrup or high fructose corn syrup or sucrose, what does that mean we should not be eating? Soda pop? We shouldn't be drinking soda, right? There's an enormous amount of sugar in soda, and in all the fruit drinks and the fruit punch and all that stuff. There's so much sugar in all of that. Candy bars. Look at the label on a candy bar. It'll say high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup and sugar. Okay. There's nothing good in a candy bar unless it's a Baby Ruth. Those are okay. Because I like those. But I don't eat candy bars, okay? Which is the good omega? 3 or 6?
3.
That's right. Omega 3 is good, omega 6 bad. And where do we find omega 6?
Everywhere.
Omega 6 is in the margarines, the vegetable oils, and animal fats. Animal fats, okay? So that's why we don't want to eat all that fried, greasy food. Fried catfish. Unless it's fried butter, right? All right, that's all full of the omega 6, which is bad, which causes cancer. And also, virtually everything I'm talking about here right now also causes what? Diabetes.
Yep.
Diabetes. All right. The other thing that causes cancer, besides the refined sugar, the flour, the omega-6, right, diet, is herbicides and pesticides. We're talking about xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens. They disrupt hormones and they mimic estrogen. It's too complex for me to go into, and you won't remember what I say. Let me just say this. Wash your fruits and vegetables. Try to eat organic fruits and vegetables. It's the pesticides in the fruits and vegetables, and pesticides also in our meats. They get into our meats. That goes into our body, and yes, that causes cancer. It's chemicals. Okay? That would not have been around in Jesus' time. They didn't have pesticides and herbicides and all that during Jesus' time. He wouldn't have to worry about that, but we do. Next, what are called xenoestrogens, I just mentioned that, are also found in health and beauty products. If you look at your health, there's all kinds of chemicals in your health and beauty products. Another one I want to name is aluminum. You ladies, they put aluminum in the deodorant. And then you put on the deodorant, and it's the aluminum that's causing the breast cancer. That's one of the causes in breast cancer, is the aluminum. Aluminum pots and pans. I would tell you, aluminum pots and pans are not good to cook with. All right? You think about it. Think about this. Do you want to consume aluminum? Okay? Not good. We talked also last week about BPA. That's all found in all your hard plastics. PVC. Also causes cancer. So what do you do about that? Because BPA is found in all your hard plastics, your soda can lining, your canned vegetable lining, your canned meat lining. All these cans are lined with that. So if you're buying any kind of a canned meat, there's BPA in that lining. All right? One thing you must never do is microwave plastic. Don't put your food in a plastic dish and microwave that food in that plastic dish, because the BPA leaches out. All right? Don't use glass or ceramic. Glass or ceramic in the microwave only. All right? Phosphates. Phosphates are found in many processed foods. And it's read like this: calcium phosphate, disodium phosphate, phosphoric acid. They put phosphates in carpet cleaning detergent, okay, in order to make the carpet look better. They put phosphates in all kinds of things. But we consume phosphates, and without going into it, that's also a cause of cancer, is phosphates. And it comes in many different forms.
And I just heard that that's one of the things that they're advertising now is the new washing powder and things without phosphate.
That's right. They're taking phosphates out of detergents because of the health risk. But yet, if you read the food packages, there's disodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, phosphorus. There's so many different types of phosphates. They're still phosphates, and we're still consuming them. But yet they're taking them out of our detergent. What does that tell you? Let me say this. You know, they'll say, oh, this is okay, don't worry about it. That has not been proven. Okay, that hasn't been proven. Those scientists, or the FDA says it's safe. Don't listen to that. It's okay to eat this. It's okay to buy this. Or, all right, if I ran up and I said, stop, the bridge is out, the bridge is out.
Warning.
Don't go that way. The bridge is out. But somebody else came up and said, no, don't listen to him. The bridge isn't out. Keep going. Would you keep going or would you stop? I'd stop. Okay? So, nitrates. If you look and I see you're shaking your head. She's shaking her head. You know about nitrates. Okay, nitrates. Marlon and I do our very best to avoid eating any meat with nitrates in it. Nitrates are poison, okay, and they cause cancer. I don't care if it's sausage, any kind of sausage, any kind of bacon, any kind of packaged meat, whether it's in the freezer section or whether it's on the aisle, it doesn't matter. All your packaged meat, all your prepared meat has nitrates in it. If you want to eat meat that doesn't have nitrates in it, you have to look for bacon, for example, that says what, Marlene?
Nitrate and nitrate free.
It will tell you nitrate free, no nitrates, uncured bacon. You're looking for uncured bacon. It'll say clearly no nitrates. That's what you're looking for, is package that clearly says. I'm going to go through a list of what you should be eating, not just what you shouldn't, okay? We'll get into that. Just a couple more things I want to tell you about what not to do before we get in what you should do. The last two things are, number one, cell phones. There is some evidence that cell phones, okay, causes cancer. They've pulled tumors out of people's heads, the shape of the cell phone antenna in the phone. Okay? So, nobody's going to quit talking on their cell phone, including me. But if you can use a Bluetooth device or a mouthpiece or something else, something that keeps that phone away from your head, you need to try to do that, which I don't do. The last thing I want to talk about is Teflon. Who has Teflon pans in their home? The non-stick. Bad. Bad. You cook and you stir fry, and the pan, it's great. The pan doesn't stick, and you can clean it so easy, and you're scraping that Teflon, and then, that's good Teflon.
Oh, you're eating the Teflon?
You're eating the Teflon, and it's very, very bad. Does cause cancer. Okay? I would recommend that you go to stainless steel pans. This is big. Stainless steel or iron skillets. What do women need in their diet? Iron. And in the old days, how did women get their iron? Iron skillets. Ironing. Thanks, Carol. All right. You get your iron, women, you get your ladies you get it from eating an iron skillet. From cooking an iron skillet, you get your iron. Okay?
How do you figure that?
Huh?
How do you figure that?
Well, when you cook, you're scraping that iron. And some of that iron is getting digested into your diet. That's right.
Be serious.
That's true. So you can either have the good iron in your diet that the ladies need, or you can have Teflon.
What's Teflon?
Teflon is a chemical made by DuPont that's poisonous.
You know when they show that commercial on TV where the food slides off the pan?
Uh-huh.
That coating is Teflon.
That's right.
And that coating comes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Oh, golly, what else do I want to tell you here? Okay, let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk about what we should be doing, all right? First, let's look at it this way. When Jesus walked the earth, his disciples walked the earth, they didn't eat any of the processed foods, any of the chemicals that we're eating today. What did they eat? Fish, olive oil, olives, figs,
Grapes.
lamb, grapes, raisins, dates, nuts.
Almonds?
Yeah. I remember that list I went through last week? I didn't bring it with me. But that list I went through last week talking about all the food that they ate in the Bible. So what do you think we should be eating? What's in the Bible? But we're not. Okay? Number 2.
Can I ask you a question first?
Yes.
How do we change this chemical dependency that we have grown to?
Education. Education. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to tell you what to do before it gets too late. Number 2, how did Jesus and his disciples and people at that time, how did they get around?
Walking.
And walking is what?
Exercise.
Exercise. Exercise. Number 3, what did Jesus tell us to do all the time without ceasing?
Pray.
Pray. Pray. That's number 3. Number 4, I'm going to give 5 here. Number 4, do you think that they had less stress than we do?
No, they have more.
No, they had less. Yeah, they had less. They didn't drive cars.
Walking, I think that.
Yeah, oh yeah, with the exercise that they got, with no traffic, no cars,
No airplanes.
none of the stress that I know they did have stress, they had their problems,
You wanna know
but not with,
You want to know why I think people today have more stress?
why?
Because I walk a whole lot. I really don't have any stress because I really don't have any worries.
We told you
But-
that.
Yeah.
Because y'all are in a car and y'all like, come on, you need to hurry up and move. Huh? So it's like Y'all put more stress on yourself than y'all even need to bear.
You're exactly right, you're exactly right. So stress, and the other thing is, if you walked from Jerusalem to Bethlehem, would you be tired when you got there?
Yeah.
It depends on.
And what would you do when you were tired?
Sleep.
You would sleep all night long for probably 9 hours, and I'll bet you wouldn't wake up once. They got better sleep than we do. They got more exercise. They had less stress. So all these things in our life are causing what?
Stress.
Cancer.
Oh,
What I just told you is the recipe for defeating cancer. De-stress your life. Get the chemicals out of your body. Stop, okay? Eat a good diet, fresh fruits and vegetables, eat the way we're supposed to. Pray. Praying makes a big difference in fighting cancer. Okay? Exercise, all these things I'm talking about. This is how you beat cancer and diabetes and all these other heart disease, all these health concerns. This is how you beat it. Let's talk about what we should be eating. Whenever possible, eat organic food. And I know it's expensive.
And it's true, because once you change your diet and everything, my mom, she came out with being pre-diabetic, and for all this time we changed everything. What I looked up everything, what to eat, what not to eat.
Yep.
You know, what to cook, with what to cook. And we changed everything, all of our ingredients, we changed
There you
everything.
go.
We don't use salt, we don't use, most of the things, And she has been pre-diabetic for the past 7 years. And it's a good thing because it never advanced more to, her having to use insulin, nothing like
Yes.
that. And we have maintained it. Plus, me and my kids eat the same food that she does.
Yep.
We basically, she uses her sweeteners, but I use the kids, regular sugars and all that, what they need to. But
Let me tell
I
you,
try to
Yes.
look at the ingredients
on the sugars,
yes,
on the sweetener,
sugars.
let me tell you about the sweeteners, everybody.
They're not good for you.
The sweeteners you want to use are, Marlon, help me, agave? I think it's agave and honey.
Yeah,
Agave and honey, those are the only two sweeteners you really should be using.
yes.
Okay? Nothing else. Agave, nectar, agave, and honey. So see, there's a testimony right there. It makes a difference,
It
okay?
does.
Okay, organic whenever possible. Fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay, make sure you rinse your fruits and vegetables real good, okay? And some, I can't get into it because I don't have time, but some fruits and vegetables are better than others. In that some vegetables absorb chemicals and some have a shell, if you will, and they block the chemicals. They're not absorbed. So some, I'm trying to think of a good example. Cauliflower or broccoli, although they're good for you, they're very good for you, they absorb chemicals. Okay? Whereas, say, squash or zucchini has a coating, okay, and it keeps the chemicals out more so than, say, broccoli. So some vegetables are better than others from that standpoint.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
What fruits are better to flush your system?
I think you need to eat a balanced diet, a balance of fruits and vegetables across the board, not just any one. Some are better than others for different things. That's a long topic. That's a lot. That's in depth. Clean water. You know what? Don't drink water right out of the tap. There's all kinds of chemicals in the water. All kinds of chemicals. And you've heard about so many cities today having to shut down their water supply because of what's in the water. And that's just what we know about. So get some kind of a water filtration. I think we have, I don't know how many redundancies. We have the Katadyn, we have the Berkey, we have the Zero Water. We have all kinds of water filtration, and we drink bottled water. We drink this Ozarka spring water.
All right, can I ask you one more question? So if you couldn't afford all that, is there a process you could take the cheaper route, I must say?
Actually, you can filter, you can buy bottled water, but the other way to do it is you can actually, if you do a little research on the internet, you can make your own water filtration using charcoal. Essentially. I mean, you have to look into it, but it can be done. Okay?
Or you can boil it.
In fact, I would tell all of you, if it ever gets to a situation where you don't have water filtration and the water goes bad, there is a way to filter water using charcoal. Essentially, that's what's used to filter water is charcoal.
Even stagnated water?
Huh?
Even stagnated water?
Stagnant water.
Stagnant water
no.
you need to boil
No,
first.
you have to purify the water. You have to boil it.
Boil it.
Boil it. Okay. Chicken. Eat free-range chicken. In other words, not these chickens that have been kept up in these little pens and fed hormones so they grow faster and they get
Farm
shipped
chicken.
off to
Farm
Kentucky
chicken.
Fried Chicken. You want farm-raised, free-range chicken. They get
They're good.
they grow naturally and they've been eating bugs. Because what do you have in bugs?
Proteins.
Protein,
Yeah.
right? So you want chickens eating, eating these bugs full of protein, because that's where you get your protein,
Chicken is
okay?
processed.
Eat fresh caught fish. The best fish to fight cancer. The best fish to fight cancer. Herring, mackerel, salmon, fresh tuna, trout, flounder, halibut. Cod's good too, because I like it. Grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef, not grain-fed beef.
How do you know if it's grass-fed or grain-fed?
It says on the package, but it's a lot, I
Or
will
the
tell
cows
you,
in your
it's
backyard
very
eating grass.
expensive. I know what we can do with this field next door, Gerald. Green tea. Green tea is very, 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 very good for you.
Yeah, I bought some of that and I tried to give up mine.
Very good for you. And green tea fights cancer.
No.
There's so many health benefits to green tea. Next, I'm about to tell you the #1 cancer-fighting food. What I'm telling you, this is it. This is the #1 cancer-fighting food. Are you ready? Any guesses? You already know probably.
I'm
Any
sure
guesses?
You told me once.
Celery?
Garlic.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Garlic.
Yeah, that's good for you.
You know what's #2?
What?
Onions.
Yeah, that's another one.
I'm making Gerald happy. Okay, those are the #1 and 2 cancer-fighting foods right there, garlic and onion. Think about it. If you eat a bunch of garlic, does anybody want to be around you?
No.
No, right? You got to eat garlic so you're sweating garlic.
That's coming out.
See, if nobody wants to be around you, neither does cancer.
You don't smell like garlic.
All right, next, olive oil. Very good for you, olive oil. Soy. Berries. All kinds of berries are good for you, Marlene.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get-
I eat berries,
Even the
Marlene
ones
does
I
not.
don't like.
I love berries. I eat berries every week, all the time. I put them in my yogurt. I put them in my organic milk. I love berries, especially blueberries. Pitted fruits like peaches and nectarines are cancer fighting.
Ah.
Okay? If you like peaches and nectarines, with the fruits that have a pit, they're good for you. All right, here is another one. Is
a mango seed considered a pit or is it a seed?
Yeah? Yeah, I think so. Okay, let me read from the book a little bit here. This is interesting stuff. Foods that act like medications. If certain foods in our diet can act as fertilizers for tumors, which they do, others, to the contrary, harbor precious anti-cancer molecules. A recent discovery showed these go far beyond the usual vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Listen to this. This is so interesting. In nature, God is amazing. In nature, when confronted with aggression, vegetables can neither fight nor flee. To survive, vegetables must be armed with powerful molecules capable of defending them against bacteria, insects, and bad weather. These molecules are phytochemical compounds with antimicrobial, antifungal, antisecticide properties that act on the biological mechanisms of potential aggressors. They also have antioxidant properties to protect the plant cells from dampness and from the sun's rays. The point is this: God designed vegetables, fruits and vegetables, to protect themselves. Okay? The same design that's in those vegetables, that protects those vegetables, when we eat those vegetables, what do you think they do for us? They protect us. That's why we need to eat fruits and vegetables. Does it make sense? I didn't know that. It's amazing. I mean, if we just listen to God's design. I got green tea, let's see, olive oil, soy. Okay, turmeric. Who's ever heard of turmeric?
Or turmeric.
Turmeric. Turmeric. What culture puts a lot of turmeric in their food?
Indians.
Indian. Right? They eat it constantly, right?
What is that?
If you don't believe me, go to a motel in East Texas. Y'all don't get that, I'm sorry. All the hotels and motels in East Texas are owned by people from India with the last name of Patel. It's very common.
Yes.
I mean, it just is.
Go out West Texas.
Yes, all of, that's their
Hotel,
business.
hotel.
Yes, and so if you go into a hotel, the first
And
thing
they
you
cook
smell is
together.
Indian food.
Yes.
That's it, okay?
Delicious too.
So listen to this about turmeric. This is amazing. It's not surprising that Indians have 1/8 as many lung cancers, 1/8 as many lung cancers as Westerners of the same age. Indians have 1/9 as many colon cancers, 1/5 as many breast cancers, 1/10 as many kidney cancers, and 1/50th our rate of prostate cancer.
So they got more.
Less.
Way less.
This is true despite Indians' exposure to numerous carcinogens in their environment, because India is not a clean country, people, not at all. Often on a worse scale than in the West. So the point is, they eat a lot of turmeric, and turmeric fights cancer.
Where do you find it
I have a little bottle of turmeric that I bought at the health food store, and I take a capsule of turmeric. I don't take it every day, but I do take turmeric. Turmeric's also good to fight if you have pneumonia or a respiratory problem. Turmeric will help fight that.
at? Probably need some.
Turmeric has a lot of health benefits. Okay?
You can sprinkle it on your meat.
All right.
You know, the spice
Yeah,
section.
vinegar's good.
But do you do?
All right, here we go. More food. Blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries,
That's for Indians.
plums, peaches. It goes spices, herbs. So many good foods you can eat.
Jeff, so many good foods you can eat, but man is playing with some of the foods, and just because it's the name of that food doesn't mean it's good for you anymore. Because we've gotten a lot of foods in the school district that have been manipulated,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and they
Yes. I mean,
not real good anymore.
I could go, the genetically engineered foods that they don't allow in other parts of the world, but they allow here in America. Europe has outlawed so many, the BPA, the genetically engineered foods and all that's been outlawed. But here in America, you know, the pharmaceutical companies, the drug companies, the big the Dow Chemical, they have high-powered lobbyists that go to Washington, D.C., and they lobby the senators, the congressmen, the politicians, and that's why we have a lot of the chemicals in our food that we do today, or one reason. And really, at the end of the day, it comes down to money. There's a huge benefit to Tyson chicken, right, or Pilgrim's Pride, putting hormones and chemicals into those chickens
Wow.
to make them grow faster, to get them to the market faster, so they can sell more.
Big.
Yes, yeah. Do you know one of the most, one of the worst things you can do is drive behind a chicken truck? You know, you see those semis hauling a big bunch of chickens on I-30?
Yep.
Don't drive behind those things.
Why?
They've measured the air. They've measured and analyzed the air that comes off those chickens. You know, Gerald, you know how dirty chickens are.
I do.
They are dirty, you know? So,
Another thing, we never lived on a farm that didn't have a peach trees.
yeah,
Every farm in my day had peach trees.
yep. Peaches have a lot of health benefits,
Yeah.
even in peach cobbler maybe.
If you use honey.
Huh?
Use honey.
If you use honey.
Yeah, if I use honey, that's right. Okay, so now let me encourage you, okay? What Marlon and I have been doing has been taking place over 10 years, 12 years of, okay, we're not going to drink soda pop anymore. No more soda pop. Okay? It's one step at a time. And you'll find that if you stop, for example, stop drinking soda pop and stop eating candy bars, you'll find that in just a month or so, you don't want them anymore. On a rare occasion, as a treat, I will drink a really good root beer, like an IBC root beer. But that's it, it's a treat. Okay? It's not something you do all the time. So what you want to do to change your life is take little baby steps, because it's so hard to change, especially as you get older. So start with saying, I'm going to cut this out of my diet. And once you've conquered that, say, you know what, I'm going to cut back on the sugar in my diet. I don't put any sugar in my tea anymore. Okay?
Good,
If I do, I put a little honey in there, but that's it.
good.
Now, I take that back, I lied. When I drink hot tea, I will take and put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of raw natural sugar, the brown sugar, in my tea. But that's it. But in my cold tea, I don't use any sugar at all. So take little baby steps. All right? When you go out to eat, how do you go out to eat? I mean, everybody eats out now. What do you do? How do you know what to eat? You know, most of the food where you go, it doesn't matter where you go, Cracker Barrel or one of the buffets or Chili's, it doesn't matter. Their food comes in a plastic bag. It comes in a container, usually frozen. All right? They pop it in the microwave and put it on your plate. Unless you're going to a very expensive restaurant that most of us cannot afford, okay, and where it's prepared fresh, that's rare. All these, I mean, Cheddars or Applebee's, they're all the same. They're supplied by a food service, like U.S. Foods, or one of those food service companies, and it's all delivered frozen, okay? Most of it's not prepared fresh. John, I asked John, Marlon's brother, several years ago, I asked him one time, I said, John, I said, what is it that you eat at a restaurant that is most likely to give you food poisoning? He said, I said, what is the most likely to make you sick at a restaurant? Is it the fish? Is it steak? Is it, what is it? You know what it is? It's salad.
Salad?
It's salad.
Why salad?
Because they don't wash it.
They don't wash it sometimes. It's handled a lot. People are kind of, you know, if it's a buffet, everybody's kind of over the salad bar. Yeah, I mean, and plus they let it sit too long out open, you know, and on all this. So it's salad that's most likely to make you sick at a restaurant. Just that's free advice.
Plus the fertilizer.
Yeah.
Well, that's where a lot of the E.
Yeah.
coli outbreaks has been through vegetables.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's a good point, the fertilizer. But what I was saying is take baby steps. Okay, I'm going to stop doing this. Okay, I'm going to walk around the block. Okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to pray for 5 minutes in the morning. Okay, take these little baby steps to change your life, a little at a time. Here's another key point. Let's say, because this happens will happen all the time. You say, that's it, that's it, that's it. All right? No more soda pop. And what do? You forget. And you find yourself at McDonald's with a Coke in your hand. Right?
No.
Wherever. But you make a mistake. You make a mistake in your diet. We all make we think we're going to do something and we make a mistake. Right? Don't give up. Don't give up because you made a mistake. All right? Say, you know what? Okay. I messed up this time, but I'm going to keep trying. Just like in our Christian walk. Just like in our Christian life. We have a sin in our life, like baby Ruth or something, and we make a mistake, we sin, and you go, you know what? You kind of confess it and don't do it again, right? It's the same thing with our diet and our exercise and all that. We're not going to be perfect, but we want to start moving in the right direction. Why do we want to start moving in the right direction? Because everything I've been telling you here about the chemicals that are going into our body, all right? Whether it's BPA, whether it's the nitrates, whether it's the fertilizers, whether it's pesticides, whether it's sugar, processed flour, okay? All of these things, Teflon, that we're consuming, all these chemicals, like I told you last week, they have found over 146 man-made chemicals in our bodies of every age group. They tested every age group, and they found over 146 chemicals, man-made chemicals in our body. And the truth is, what happens is we digest. Look, when we digest something into our body, what does our body do with it? It burns it, right? It eliminates it, or it stores it. When your body sees something that it doesn't know what to do with it, it says, what is this? What does it do? It stores it. And where does it store it, ladies? Right here.
Yep.
It stores it right here. Why can't I get rid of this belly? Because I got a chemical here in my body, and my body doesn't know what to do with it, so it encapsulates it in water. And it stores it right here. Okay? So our body doesn't know what to do with these chemicals. It just sits there.
Use coconut oil.
But you can detox. There are ways to detox, okay? And I'm not going to talk to you about that. To me, if you're going to detox, you need to do your own research, talk to a doctor, physician, okay? But I would encourage, and some of the detoxes are very harsh to get the metals, the metals out of your body that we have, like aluminum, lead. Okay? It's not easy to get some of these chemicals out of your body. But anyway, I would encourage you to, we're done, I would encourage you here to pick up this book, everybody. You see this? All right, right here. Right here, okay? Right here. Anti-cancer. Anti-cancer. All right? A New Way of Life by David Servan Schreiber. David Servan Schreiber. Read this book. It's not a difficult read. He's got some great stories about what he went through with brain. He had tumors twice. He defeated cancer twice. He had brain tumors. And he tells you all about how he defeated. Now, he's not a Christian, and he talks about meditation and those kind of things that I don't. When he says meditation, I read prayer.
Right, sure.
Okay?
That's good.
But he's a French physician and scientist.
So can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So, God don't agree with me opening up the third eye?
Do what?
God don't agree with opening up the third eye?
Absolutely not.
A what?
That's false religion.
Oh.
A
Yeah.
what?
Opening a third eye. Meditation. He's talking about Eastern. That's Eastern religion and meditation. We don't do that.
No.
Yep, we do not do that. For us, it's prayer and meditating on God's Word. Okay? And by the way, prayer and meditation on God's Word
Yes, sir.
is another means to defeating cancer. And also another means to getting the stress out of your life. If you're turning to God and say, God, take my problems, I can't handle it. All right? That's probably the best way to get rid of some stress right there. But no, don't walk around in your life with all that stress. Because you know what? Stress will cause cancer. Stress causes your diet, lack of exercise, stress in your life, no sleep, okay, and no exercise. All right? Anybody, any questions?
Go back to the form.
I would say that, with our new health care and the way it's coming down,
What health care?
well, let me finish. Because it's leading to, just like they approve abortion, they're also starting to approve euthanasia.
Yes, they are.
Because, and there are a lot of rules in a lot of the hospitals is, let them die.
Yep.
So it would behoove you to take care of your own health and not to end up in the hospital, because I think as time goes on, more and more it's going to go to the rule of let them die.
Let me speak to that. We're almost done. Let me speak to that really quick. Without getting political, the fact of the matter is that the same thing that you're seeing at the VA hospitals,
Yep.
that is our future.
Yes.
And already we are seeing waiting lines. Okay? We're already seeing waiting lines for procedures, to see the doctor, for this, for that, to see a specialist. Okay? We're already seeing it happen. So just like she's saying, what is very, very important is that we learn how to take care of ourselves. Because our healthcare system is not going to be there for us when we get older. Gerald, when we get older, especially when I get older, when I'm your age, I don't expect to have any health care. None. So I've got to take care of myself now, and I would encourage all of you to really take care of yourselves. Stay out of the hospital. Okay? Last question.
All right, once I went to the hospital, right, and I got this bulge on my neck. And then I went to the hospital and I was telling the doctor about it. And well, he was telling me, well, you can't mix church and something. And I told him, I was like, but on Sunday you go to church and you're saying, oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But I told you I had a problem and God will heal it. And he was telling me, you're crazy, I'm going to put you in a mental institution. So I left out of Baylor. Man, my wife walked right out of there.
Well, what you're finding is that doctors are required by law. Marlon, what do you know? I don't know what you know about this, but doctors are required by law to report certain, if they think something, for example, if you take your child to the hospital because he's gotten hurt, and they see bruises on the child, they're required by law to question that, and I don't know exactly, but they're required to question that child.
Yes, sir.
And make a report on that, and that goes to authorities. So if they think for any reason that you have any kind of a mental deficiency, or you're a woman or child that's been abused, or whatever, you know, and it's the same way in the public schools, I think, that there's certain things that have to be reported.
Yes, yes.
Right?
If we see a bruise on a child, and especially if you see that bruise on a child more than for a second time, if you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person
Who did it? Yeah, you can be culpable.
yeah.
So you got to be very careful. And that's what yeah, the doctor's nutty, but yeah.
I've got a grandson that has cystic fibrosis from the time he was a baby.
Yep.
Look here. Several years back, they had him come in. They wanted to study him why he's lived a lot longer than everybody else. You know why? A lot of times, his dad would let him do what he really wanted to.
Yep.
You hear that? And when he got 18, he let him make all the decisions so they couldn't come back on the daddy and throw him in prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what a lot of it's going to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother
That's
topic,
another
right?
big
That's a whole
ballgame.
nother topic right there. What's going on in terms of the government sort of seizing control of our lives. Last question there.
And
If
it's
you're a
true
doctor, you know
because I
everything
took,
about everything.
my son to the doctors.
Yeah.
Well, because he had a high fever and I couldn't get it down, so I had to take him to the hospital.
Yep,
Well, in the hospital, the doctor, I ended up getting a lady from the CPS come in.
that's right.
Because it turns out they ran tests because he kept getting bites from mosquitoes and it looked like it bruises, like if I
But it
would
was
have beat
mosquitoes.
him, yes.
So let's take what you're saying and what you're saying, let's take this all the way back around, okay? Right back to what we've been talking about.
Wow.
When you, I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor, I'm not telling you that, but I'm telling you that when, you gotta be careful.
Yes.
Because when you take your child or yourself
Yep,
to the doctor, there's a risk involved
yes, sir.
with CPS, Child Protective Services.
Yes.
They, again, the government is, the state is seizing control of our lives.
Can I ask you a question?
The state believes that they own our children. So my point is this, we've got to take better care of our health. So we don't have to go to the hospital, so we don't have to go to the doctor. Okay? All right?
Back when Randall was just a baby, he was in the hospital with cystic fibrosis. In about 4 years, they's all dead. You understand, you
Yeah.
hear what I'm saying
Yeah.
right now? He is now 23 years old.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
cause all the chemicals of the kids that was in the hospital, they was putting in them.
And now, and look here, he don't go in near as often as he used to. He really has to go when he goes. But he won't, when he gets to feeling better in about 2 weeks, he's out. He
Yeah.
bats himself out and he goes.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, let me go ahead and pray for us and dismiss us. And then, in the future, if I can help you, any questions, I'll answer the questions if I can, okay? Let's pray. Lord God, we come before you
Amen.
and we ask that, Lord, help us to come to you first in prayer when we have health needs. Lord, help us to look into your word and to understand how you meant for us to live. What you meant for our lives. How you meant for us to eat and take care of ourselves. Lord, you blessed us with life and with this body. Lord, help us to take care of what you gave us. Help us not to abuse it, Lord, and mistreat it the way we do with the chemicals and the diet. But, Lord, help us to appreciate what you've given us and help us to take care of it so that we can serve you better. Lord, I pray that you'd bless all these people, bless them with health, help them to change, to be able to take care of themselves, Lord, and keep them out of the hospital and medical facilities. Lord, I pray that, again, just bless these people, bless our church. In Jesus' name, amen.